Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Monday, 20th May 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. One senior regional journalist believes international military or police presence in Haiti will foment more violence. A diplomatic solution is necessary. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Preparations are ramping up for a global security force to quell Haitian violence. A recent UN Human Rights Office report called for immediate and bold action to tackle what it calls a cataclysmic situation. Veteran journalist Earl Bousquet of St. Lucia, however, argues that a diplomatic solution would be more effective than military intervention in response to the violence and political unrest. Zane Romulus of the DBS News World reports.
In the coming weeks, a seven-nation security mission led by Kenya will deploy to stabilize Haiti, where gangs have taken over much of the capital, setting off a major humanitarian crisis. Since April 25th, coordinated attacks have been launched, displacing nearly 10,000 people. Veteran journalist Earl Bousquet believes the upcoming military intervention may not be the best answer, as violence only breeds more violence.
Every war ends with a truce. Every war ends with negotiation. At the end of the day, what Haiti needs is not violence to end violence, but a political solution that will bring all the elements to the table, including the paramilitary forces that are now being described, have always been described as gangs. By calling them gangs, that helps make the case for external military intervention. But they are not gangs. They have, what you have there is a number of paramilitary groups that came together and have formed what they would like to describe as a liberation force. And they have made it absolutely clear that any occupied military force that lands in Haiti, whether from CARICOM, Kenya, United States, France, UK, or anywhere else, they will ensure that they attack them.
Bousquet points out that Haiti has endured a long history of struggle, resilience, and hope amid often dire circumstances, and the Haitian people should not be looked at as weak, as he believes they are being portrayed.
Haitians led the first black revolution in history, established the first black republic, and it was not in Africa, it was in the Caribbean in 1804. And therefore, that history suggests that Haitians are not just crying time to who are just waiting for help from outside. Haitians are not sitting, begging, crying, and waiting for help like they are being made to look. What is happening there is only happening in Port-au-Prince, which is the capital. The rest of Haiti is not that affected.
Meanwhile, U.S. military planes filled with civilian contractors and supplies have begun landing in Haiti, paving the way for the multi-nation security mission. Kenya has committed a 2,500-member security force, and other countries, including the Bahamas, Bangladesh, Barbados, Benin, Chad, and Jamaica, have pledged to contribute personnel in stages. In response to the military intervention, the head of the Haitian G9 Federation of Gangs, Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier, says his forces are ready for a long fight. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
In a 13th May region-wide press conference, CEO Dr. Andre Thomas of Connect Caribe, a proposed regional cargo and passenger ferry service, announced that new developments have brought the possible launch date to as early as August. SKN Newsline's Glenn Bart has some details.
According to Dr. Thomas, a new partnership with a shipping company out of the United Arab Emirates will now enable the operation to start with more ships, thus accelerating the original plans for the service. We are excited that we have reached a milestone in the development and implementation of this project earlier than we anticipated. And the reason for that is that we have the two major partnerships that have turbocharged and accelerated the process of taking this maritime corridor initiative from concept to reality. The first would be our partnership with the CPSO, the CARICOM Private Sector Organization, whose data, guidance, and leadership in the implementation of this project has served to really accelerate us. Their understanding of the trade landscape, the commerce landscape, has been indispensable in guiding us in making strategic, logistical, and tactical decisions where this project is actually concerned. The second would be our partnership with our new partner, which is the Jampo Group. They are a very strong company operating out of the UAE, and they work across the continent of Africa. Been worked for over 30 years and have a fleet of ships. And we've entered into an agreement with them, and they will be providing our first set of ships, which are being acquired as we speak, and very soon would be on their way to the Caribbean waters. CARICOM heads of government have been pushing for many years for private sector-led maritime passenger and cargo services to help facilitate greater achievements in the CARICOM single market and economy for enhanced growth in member countries. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness wants opposition consensus for Jamaica's constitutional reform. Jamila Maitland of TVJ News reports.
There must be consensus. That declaration from Prime Minister Andrew Holness after the opposition's People's National Party refused to sign the recommendations of the Constitutional Reform Committee.
I am disappointed, but I am not surprised. I'm not surprised that they would have tried to find every way out of seeing this process through to its rightful conclusion.
On Tuesday, opposition leader Mark Golding outlined the reason for not signing the draft constitutional reform document: the exclusion of the Caribbean Court of Justice as the country's final appellate court, a major reason why. But the Prime Minister, during an unannounced appearance at Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing, says there was no agreement that a decision of a final appellate court would have been made now.
We came to an understanding that the process would be a phased process, that we would move on the matters on which we agreed, which would be the Jamaica becoming a republic, and the other matters that were a little bit more complex, on which consensus ought to be fully realized, that those would come in the second phase of the process.
Meanwhile, Legal and Constitutional Affairs Minister Marlene Malahoo Ford chided the opposition for what she described as derailment.
I can't understand how it is that now that we get to the stage of moving closer to implementation, we're accused of rushing.